Hold on a sec, Pam. Just a minute, Jennifer. I'm on the phone. You know better than to interrupt.
But, Mom, Courtney said there's no Easter Bunny.
Pam, I'm going to have to call you back. Jennifer's upset about something. No, it's something about the neighbor girl. Okay, bye. Now, what is it that you have to come in here yelling like that?
I told you, Courtney said there's no Easter Bunny. She said her sister said it was all a lie. I told her that it wasn't and that you'd come over and tell her the truth. Come on, we gotta go. She's waiting for us.
Jennifer, why are you so upset?
'Cause there has to be an Easter Bunny, Mom. Remember when Daddy took me out to the garden and showed me the footprints in the dirt? And we always find the eggs he leaves for me in the dryer or the basement.
Jennifer, there are some stories that parents tell. Some of them are true and some of them are pretend. That Easter Bunny that you saw in the mall, that was really just a man in a bunny suit. Did you think that was the real Easter Bunny?
No, not anymore. I used to. But Daddy said they were just men in costumes. He said you never see the real Easter Bunny because he's too quiet and sneaky. And he only comes at night before Easter. And he showed me the footprints in the garden.
Here, sit on my lap for a minute.
Why?
Just sit here a minute. I want to explain something to you.
Are you going to tell me there's no Easter Bunny?
Jennifer, there is an Easter Bunny. But he's not really the kind that you see in the malls. He reminds us of spring and of new things and of sharing with people. But he doesn't really come around and give away eggs and candy.
Well, then what does he do?
Well, he makes us happy.
But where does he live?
Well, he lives in your heart, deep inside your heart.
But doesn't he live anywhere else? How can he live in my heart? He's much too big.
Well, he's not something you can touch, Jenny. He's pretend. He's like Barney. He only lives in the pretend world, not our world.
But I saw the footprints in the garden.
Daddy made those with a stick, Jenny. He was trying to help you pretend. He was trying to help your imagination.
But he told me it was the real Easter Bunny. Then he never was in the garden, was he?
No. But we can still pretend.
I don't want a pretend bunny. I want one in the garden. Daddy lied to me. You all lied to me.
No, Jenny.
There is no Easter Bunny. Now I never want any eggs ever again.
Help! Get that icky thing away from me!
Promise you'll do my turn at dishes for a month?
Butch Williams, you get near me with that thing and you'll wish you had never been born.
Brady cat.
Grow up. Can't you think of anything better to do than chase people around with worms?
It's not a worm.
Oh yeah, it's worse than a worm. It's fat and squishy and ugly. Come to think of it, it's a lot like you.
Whoa, nobody gets away with calling me names. Not even my sister.
Why don't you just stomp on the thing and put it out of its ugly misery?
Julie, it's obvious that you're no bio-brainchild. Don't you know what this is?
Do I care?
Now I know I always get C's in science.
So what?
So what? This, my dear Science Challenge sister, is a dynamic potentiality of explosive panoramic color.
Say what?
In the plain everyday language of the simple-minded, it's a butterfly.
Well, maybe I'm no Einstein, but I'm not blind. And that, my dear baby brother, is no butterfly.
Is too.
Is not.
Is too.
Is. Now, wait a minute. We're not getting anywhere.
Julie, just be quiet for 1 minute, okay?
Okay, but 60 seconds max.
Mrs. Quigley's 5th grade science class, remember? Butterflies start out as larvae, not as butterflies, right?
Oh, yeah.
This, my dear sister, is a larva. This spring, it will be buried in a cocoon for 6 weeks, after which it will emerge as a panoramic splash of color, lilting the winds, making our world a brighter place to be.
A poet you're not.
Thanks.
Buried, huh?
Right. If it doesn't get buried in a cocoon, it can't become a butterfly.
Cool. Butterflies are cool. Okay, so don't stomp on the thing. I want to see you get buried and become a butterfly.
Your compassion underwhelms me.
Well, how could I kill something that's such a perfect illustration of our family? Right now, it looks like you. And in 6 weeks, it'll look like me.
You know, I'm glad we're not identical twins, because anyone can tell that it's the other way around.
Dream on, baby brother.
The only reason you were born first is because Mom was saving the best for last.
Okay, truce. Okay?
Okay, say we just bury it.
Yeah, seeing as how buried stuff comes back beautiful. Even better than before.
A panoramic explosion of living technicolor breathing life into a dark and dreary world.
All right, E.E. Cummins Jr., let's keep it simple. Beastly, then buried, then beautiful.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, Sarah, come on in. Why don't you have a seat? So what can I do for you?
Well, thanks for meeting with me. I don't know if you can answer my question. I know we haven't been very regular in church lately, but it's been bugging me, and I was sort of hoping you could help clear things up for me.
Well, what's on your mind?
Well, I guess I should start with Jennifer. She realized this year that the Easter bunnies only pretend, and she was kind of upset about it. I think the eggs and things have confused the real meaning of Easter for her, and I'm worried that she'll think that just because the Easter bunny is pretend, that the rest of Easter is pretend. I mean about the resurrection.
You're afraid she'll confuse truth with myth.
Well, yes. I want her to know that certain things are real and others are pretend.
How do you know which is which?
Well, I guess I see things like the Easter bunny as stories that help us celebrate certain times of year and remind us of the rebirth of spring. And, well, you know, but that's different from what actually happened. I mean, like historical things, like people living and dying, and, well, the resurrection, like the resurrection. But that's different from, you do believe in the resurrection. They're two different things, aren't they? Aren't they? You do believe in the resurrection, don't you?
Of course I believe in the resurrection.
Whew. Well, that's a relief, because I've heard of some churches that don't. They don't really believe that Jesus rose from the dead. I mean, actually rose from the dead.
Well, maybe I don't believe exactly as you do.
What do you mean?
I believe the resurrection was an important belief in the formation of the early church. I believe the Spirit of the risen Lord gave the apostles hope when they desperately needed it. And I believe the living Christ gives us hope.
Well, that's what I believe.
But I'm not sure the actual body of Christ came to life and walked around and talked to people.
Wait a minute. You don't really think he came out of the tomb?
That's not what I said. I said I wasn't sure. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't.
Wait a minute. I grew up in this church. As long as I can remember, everyone has always believed in the resurrection. I was always taught that.
Sarah, we always talked about Easter and the power of the resurrection. We always will. But did you think that to mean that everybody believes that Jesus of Nazareth actually was raised in bodily form?
Well, yes. I guess I was dumb enough to believe it.
I didn't say you were dumb.
Just naive.
No, I didn't mean that. I told you I believe in the risen Lord.
But you don't.
Of course I do.
Okay, if you were in the garden on Easter morning, if you traveled back in time, if you were there, in that actual garden, in that actual moment in history, would you have seen anyone come out of the tomb?
It doesn't matter. That's not the point.
It matters to me. He never rose in the garden, did he?
The question is, has he risen in your heart?
No. The question is, did he rise in the garden? Because if he didn't rise in the garden, he can't rise in anyone's heart. Well, at least not mine. I don't want to pretend Jesus. I want the one in the garden. Good day, Pastor.